In that moment, I understood exactly what he meant. Don't say it. It felt like a bucket of ice water had been dumped over my head, leaving my fingertips numb. Lottie, where have you been? You okay? A colleague's voice cut through the silence. I snapped back to reality, forcing a tight smile. I'm fine. Just had a bit too much to drink, that's all. Lucian's lips parted, but with my colleague hovering nearby, the conversation died on the vine. Back at the table, I grabbed my bag and offered a strained apology. I've got a massive headache, and a fur baby waiting for me at home. I'm going to head out. Let me drop you off. Lucian reached out to steady me, but I stepped back, avoiding his touch. That wouldn't be appropriate, Lucian. Madeline is coming to pick me up. I'm fine. I couldn't stand to be in that room for another second. I fled, desperate for the sanctuary of my own space. Lying in bed, eyes stinging, I tried to force myself to sleep, but his words played on an endless loop. Sensing my distress, Luna curled up against my chest, uncharacteristically affectionate. I buried my face in her fur. Sorry, Luna. Looks like Mommy can't find you a new daddy after all. He had someone else. My phone buzzed. A message from Lucian. I'm outside your door. They say you should love your neighbor, but in this case, it felt more like living in a cage. Every word he sent, every scrap of attention he gave me, just fed my pathetic, lingering hope. I rubbed my tired eyes, my jaw tight with suppressed irritation. I'm already asleep. It took a long time, but finally, he replied with a single word. Fine. A night of tossing and turning was all I needed to make up my mind. I was quitting. I wouldn't waste my life hung up on a man who didn't want me, especially since he'd made it so painfully clear. With a pounding head, I threw caution to the wind, fired off a resignation email to the firm, and immediately booked a moving company. It broke my heart, but staying wasn't an option. I stuffed a grumpy Luna into her carrier, whispering reassurances to her. Don't worry, Luna. Mommy isn't going to leave you behind. We'll be fine, even if we have to start over from scratch. Luna voiced her sharp disapproval with a series of indignant meows. We stared at each other, both miserable. I know. You don't want to leave Lucian. Believe me, neither do I. But what other choice did I have? The doorbell rang. Already? The movers were faster than I thought. I'm not quite packed yet. My voice died in my throat the moment I saw Lucian standing in the hallway. You're quitting? His voice was cold, devoid of emotion. Of course. As my boss, he would have seen the email immediately. I gritted my teeth, pacing the small space to vent my nervous energy. Yes. His gaze shifted, scanning the boxes over my shoulder. And you're moving? I summoned every ounce of courage I had left, my hands clenching at my sides. Yes. Reason? No reason. I just felt like it. The last time I'd been this stubborn with him, we were still in college. He stood there in silence for a moment before nodding. Fine. I bit my lip, stinging with frustration, and ran a hand through my hair. Forget being neighbors or former classmates. I was one of his best lawyers, wasn't I? He wasn't even going to try to convince me to stay. Then, he stepped forward, cradling Luna in his arms, and held out a stack of papers from the vet. You can go, he said, his tone infuriatingly calm. But first, settle up the outstanding veterinary bills.